The teaching and learning spotlights are always kind of hour-long opportunities for a faculty member to highlight work that they're doing. And I'm really, really pleased to introduce Crystal Hahn, who is in the Department of Organizational Performance and Workplace Learning.
I'm Crystal Hahn, and I'm from OPO department, and I'm very grateful to be here. It will be one of my best days that I can stand up in front of you and then talk to you. So this is my sharing opportunity for you on my research so far on team mindset, team research, and how to improve teams. So I hope the tools that I'm bringing to you may be helpful for your students to build better team and successful team. So ready, set, go? Or ready, set, grow? Let's go. So the goal is to identify the difference between a growth and a fixed mindset, as you know. Explain you your mindset and the potential impact that your mindset can have on team mindset. Also discuss team mindsets and strategies to support student teamwork. A lot of you asked a question beforehand and say like, oh, I want to learn how to make our team project more enjoyable and successful. So I'm gonna give you some tools to make that environment as well as some structure that students may like to use. So do you believe that you can't teach an old dog?
I sure hope not.
I taught my 12-year-old dog new tricks this summer when he came to live with me again after learning some bad tricks.
Yeah. Also, or can you teach old dog? So there is a true or false, like, I don't think so, it happened, or okay, we can do that, This may apply to human being. Of course, animal versus human may have a different dynamics, and I hope human has more potential, right? So we want to see what is the growth mindset look like first. So how would you describe this picture? I wanted to make this more interactive, so I asked you to bring the cell phone. Once you enter the code, then you get to describe this picture in 3 words, so you can put the keywords in. So far 11 people enter the keywords. So as you can see, it automatically shows everyone's input right away. Right? So growth mindset is based on implicit person theory. And as you know, Carol Dweck has been working on this a lot, and also our President Trump also sent newsletter recently on growth mindset and fixed mindset. And there is always potential to develop intellect, to increase talent, and to adjust more understanding. On the other hand, a fixed mindset is found in an entity theorist who believe that ability and intellect are fixed and or inherent. So you believe that intelligence cannot be developed, or ability or skill set cannot be developed. So how can this apply to the learning and what we are doing? So do you believe that students can expand their intellect and talents with hard work and dedication with their education?
Yep.
Yeah. For those who come here normally have a very growth mindset. So yeah, I have this assumption. It's not something that someone is growth mindset or someone is fixed mindset. I don't think so, and the research does not show that. It's more of spectrum, and you can be either this way or that way, but also it's a multi-dimension. So you can believe that you're strong in math, but you can never do arts. So you have a growth mindset in math, but you don't have a growth mindset in arts, right? But the mindset of the instructor is really, it is growing a lot. Research has shown a lot of things on instructor mindset, but I want to talk about recent research that managers' performance rating, whether that manager has a growth mindset or fixed mindset, they actually change their performance evaluation. So for those who have a very high growth mindset, they evaluate the employees time 1 this much. and time 2, very big difference. And for those who have a fixed mindset, they grade about this and then they change slightly, not like enormously. And fixed mindset managers hardly involved in a coaching or providing the feedback to employees because they already have that assumption that, oh, this person has already, this much capability, and I don't want to invest this time because this one already has this small ability. Does that make sense? So this really applies to teachers' mindset as well. So typically growth mindset leaders encourage feedback and promote learning among their peers and teams, and also even among students. A fixed mindset leader tend to respond to failure with anger instead of viewing as opportunity to learn or get better. So I interviewed other people's managers and tried to come up with like their mindset on employees. And one HRD development people said, oh, I would rather recruit someone who has already have a competencies that they are looking for rather than they develop their own employees, because he said, I've been doing this more than 10 years, I can't really develop them because it's better to hire the good ones rather than trying to change us. For example, like, oh, my students hate teamwork, so I'm not gonna do team project. That's fixed mindset. On the other hand, oh, maybe what things I can help, what kind of structure can I give, or how can I coach them? Can I meet regularly with them and spend some time with them so that they're on track? Can I provide support for them? Those are the typical mindset that growth mindset that faculty bring to for the education. So instructors' mindset really can impact the grading, team morale of students, and whether they're open to feedback from students or not, and promoting a learning environment. So for those who really hate the evaluation from students at the end of the course, those may have a fixed mindset. Period. So my student, I can't really satisfy all my students, that's true. But on the other hand, oh, okay, this point, what can I do better then? Those mindset can be a more growth mindset. Here are the timeline for using team mindset tools. I provide you all the tools in one package, one page, so that you can use it in your classroom. You don't have to use everything, but I wanted to introduce everything, right? You can modify based on your needs. I provided online videos for instructions and also online scenario-based learning case studies so that you can show that via online, and then there are discussion questions at the end. So that workshop typically starts with your classroom. So if you're online, you can build that into your Blackboard, or if you are face-to-face, you can open the online and turn on the video and let them discuss in groups. Week 3 to 4, you will ask them to build a team growth mindset charter. How many of you actually have team charter built? Great. So once you start the team project, you want teams to do the team charter. That's a contract, and that's setting the expectation. And progress check with a self-assessment of themselves, whether they're growth mindset or fixed mindset, or their teams are growth mindset or fixed mindset. And there's also status report and reflection time where they gonna reflect their performance as well as you're checking their status, so that it's a structure, so your team is not doing the project at the end. And there's a final assessment. Some people do use it. How many of you use final assessment of teams, like team assessing the other team members? Okay, a lot of you. So these are very typical, right? And I have provided some Google forms so that you can just distribute that link and everybody can jump in, and then you can just see by clicking responses. So what is a team mindset? A team growth mindset, I tried to level up this to a team level. So that's why my lab is Team Mindset Lab. Every individual mindset will bring up to the team level, and even in organizational level, even in a national level, right? So I tried to study this from based on the students and faculty and managers, employees, and their mindset, how they shape the team level mindset. So I'm running the Invent for the Planet with College of Engineering and Venture College together jointly. So this will be our third year running this in Boise State University. So basically it's a design thinking loop. So people will make a group and we have a these statement that they have to solve, and they're gonna work in group for 3 days to solve that global issue. And also this will be done in a university-wise, worldwide, so at the same time, even though there's a time difference, so we have that virtual monitor to communicate each other using Microsoft. Yeah, I'd like to talk about the key elements of successful teams. So based on my studies, I'm gonna show my studies from now on, but I found 3 key elements for making a successful team. So number 1 is psychological safe environment. You need to make a team to feel free to share their knowledge without risk. They don't want to be judged and they don't want to be looked foolish. And the second one is faculty support and students support among themselves. And then third, it's about shared leadership. Now we're gonna touch on each element. So first, setting the learning climate. So how many of you use ground rules before you begin the class or doing the team project? Yes, yes. So ground rules are very important to set up the climate where you can feel free to share knowledge. So for example, you can use the airtime. Have you heard airtime? No? Okay, so I can ask questions and I stay without saying anything. I wait. Then for those who are very shy or introvert, we are giving them some time to think and then talk. You know the ouch, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you are offended, you can say ouch and say so and say why. If not, you don't have to, but that ouch practice is also good. And speak for yourself, not others. Honest disagreement in the spirit of critical academic exchange are encouraged. You have to be very respectful when you give feedback, so you set up this expectation where giving feedback, the way of providing feedback is very critical. So these are the ways how you want to give feedback. So you set up that expectation. Yes.
Crystal, do you recommend, or does your studies show whether it's better to have the students in a group establish their rules, or whether you give them rules, or you give them rules to start with and let them modify? Do you have a sense of what's best there?
That's a really good question. I will start with team mindset, that video clip with this is how team mindset look like, and then set up the expectation that you think it is important, and then what other ground rules do you want to add as a team? This is for your students to make. So it's a combination, so you do both. So you ask your student groups okay, what else do you want to build as a ground rule? Good question. And the second part is faculty and team support. So as you know, there are a lot of tools like Trello or other project management tools that students can use, and they can assign the team project and give them team members due dates and progress. So these tools are great. Also, there are some tools where students can collaborate together and bring the data in. So, I find this article from here. I found that resource from here. So it's a collective area. It's called Padlet, and there are lots of tools out there. WordPress, Padlet, even Google Doc. You can do collaboratively. So you can provide these tools and ask them to choose what your team like. However, I'm showing this my study, bless you, because the previous slide that I show you is more focusing on task-oriented process, right? So, you do that. This is due date. Why do you miss that? That's task-oriented. So faculty normally provide that task structure, but forget about how important it is for building relationship among team members, as well as support from faculty. So my research really showed that if you create a psychological safe environment, actually the relationship among people, like caring, oh, is everything going well? Is there anything I can help? Those helping it. Those relationships had a more impact toward the team creativity and their performance. So I want to illustrate that using only project team management tool may be not enough. And then third part is shared leadership. That really helps your team lead to success. A lot of time people say, oh, I hate team project because
There's always a slacker.
yes. Yes. We have to bring the spirit of shared leadership to them. Shared leadership is more of this format or that format. What do you think? So this is CEO, like one person giving the task like this, and this is more of dynamic among others. Bottom one? Yes. It's more of members trying to exchange everything among themselves. So you're trying to reach the goal just like a basketball players. So shared leadership example is basketball playing. Like to reach the goal, you play all together, and everybody has a position, and everybody has their own strength. So we're using everyone's input, right? So shared leadership spirit is that, like, we all have something to contribute. So team charter is really helpful because it shows, like, what are you good at? Like, what's your strength? Like, there's an option where you have to write that down together so that they know, like, what they're good at. So that's one component of shared leadership. Another study that I did with my team was trying to look at how multinational virtual teams, like online groups, work together. And by reviewing 250 articles and systematically, I found the key factors that facilitate teamwork multinationally, online setting. So those are these overcoming biases, because people normally judge each other very fast. Oh, you're math. Oh, why don't you do this in a group project? Oh, your major is that? Oh, okay, you must be good at that. Very quick judgment. And try to communicate more often and build a relationship and establish expectation and try to learn where you're from and what you're like and what your value systems look like. So those are called social-emotional process, whereas task-related process is trying to communicate and delegating tasks, coordinating, knowledge sharing. All those things are called task orientation process. But as I said, social-emotional process is really important for especially multinational area as well. We're gonna do team mindset workshop. How about we try to do scenario 1 and 2? So if you look at this tool, there is scenario 1 and scenario 2, barcode.